La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. It is society season. I want to thank you guys for the responses you have given the sessions. You guys inspire me more than you know. For those of you who don't know, society sessions are spaces that I create to dedicate to a cause that I'm passionate about. So they started out as parties that I hosted all around the globe, from London to New York to DC, designed to highlight the underground and artistic integrity, right? To honor artists who choose art. It then turned into an interview series when this quarantine hit, where I talk to my homies about their dreams and about their failures and their success and the grind and the come up. During times like these in society, in the world, right? It's so easy to get lost in thought or to get stuck with yourself and to spiral, for people like me at least, who have anxiety and all this other type shit. So this is a platform that we've created and a community that we've created to inspire, to keep dreams alive, bro. In a world where, you know, there are a lot of people who never get the opportunity to see dreams come into fruition and come true, it's important to me, as somebody that is an artist and that works with all these amazing ass people, to showcase examples of people who are living their dreams, and that it's not always all nice either. It's not always all nice either. You feel me? So, and it's not always all bad. It's people who are living their fucking dreams, because that's what life is about, bro. Life is too short. Life is too short to take any of this shit for granted. Let's get down to business, bro. Today I'm talking to three of my fire-ass homies. I'm talking to PJ, I'm talking to Jade, and I'm talking to Alessia.
Yeah, what's up? How y'all doing?
You looking cute. Put your eyeshadow on. Put your lipstick on.
I get that from you, man. Hello.
So for those of you who don't know, right, PJ is an artist whose music I heard on tour with Rihanna in Germany for the first time, although I heard your shit before, and I just immediately loved your shit, and now we're friends.
I know, and we getting margaritas after this.
So, first of all, what have your quarantine activities been?
Okay, so it changes week to week. Right now we're in the eating week, and that means I'm eating everything. Today I had a bowl of Frosted Flakes, 3 cookies, a tuna fish sandwich. I don't know. I had some shrimp too. I just been going crazy. I've been working. I've been recording. I've been getting ready to put out some new music and watching Insecure.
Oh, yeah. And you've been watching Insecure. I want to know, because we have so many conversations, bro, about the grind and the struggle and the hustle and all that extra shit. And I feel like just us talking, when we talk, and we be talking about like the hustle, all that, right? I want to know what the most valuable lesson that you've learned pertaining to your career in the last 5 years is, or one of the most valuable lessons you feel.
I think one of the most valuable lessons I feel like, it's been moments where I feel like in this industry, sometimes, I'm not going to say it's impossible to be a good person, but there are people who will see what they can get away with. And then it's like when you catch them in it, you know what I'm saying? It might cause you to act outside of your character. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like one of the most important things for me is to like handle things with grace and don't let nobody take you out of your zone, out of your character. Because I feel like I'm a good person. I treat everybody fairly or whatever. And there are moments where you just be like, wow, that's crazy. That's how people get down. That's how people get down. But still, even though, regardless, you know what I'm saying? I just, I keep my morals about me, and I'm not snacking. I'm not going off on anybody. So that's a lesson.
Do you feel like there have been times where you didn't keep, like, where you lost your character, or you like, you stepped out of character?
At Actually, no, I feel like there are plenty of times where I could have. And then and it's like, even my thing, me stepping out of character is me just telling you, like, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You actually got me fucked up. Exactly.
You said what?
Exactly. Like, you got me fucked up.
Yeah, and it's like, my thing is, like, people can't be mad because they get caught. You know what I'm saying? And then to be happy, to stay happy, because, like, even that, it's like, even that like that type of shit, to even be thinking about that other shit, that shit really don't matter to me.
Facts. So in this shit, we have, like, this is for any dream, right? Like, this is if you're in music, if you're in if anyone that has a dream or a goal, right, has insecure thoughts, right? Especially, like, kind of knowing your story. Like, in those moments, every time that I've seen you in that place, you always counter those thoughts. Like, you always manage to, like, conjure up the fucking strength and all this shit, like, to counter the insecure thoughts. And that doesn't mean that it always goes away, at least for me. But, like, what motivates you to counter those thoughts? Like, what motivates you to counter your insecurities? You feel me?
One of the things, like, remember how you told me, it's like, when it comes to you and get into your dreams, you really don't have time for, like, self-doubt. And you don't have time to, like, slip. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody always talks about foundation, and even on the outside, sometimes this industry will cause you to pay attention to cracks in your foundation that you didn't even know you had. When the shit starts, like, crumbling a little bit, you, like, lean to the side, shit like that. And I think the thing that keeps me motivated is the fact that what I talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, love was never, like, a big thing for me, and I always felt like I was slept on. I always felt like I was an underdog. I always felt like, for whatever reason, anything that I've ever wanted, I've always had to fight for. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I didn't even get no free shit when I was a kid. You know them kids that be winning shit in the classroom? I never got chosen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the fuck? I feel like it's just like, I feel like we have to fight so much, BB, and we, like, you know, we'll be punching, we'll be fighting, we'll be kicking and screaming just to make space. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they made it so, like, if we were going in somebody else's footsteps, then it would be easy to glide through because it would already be clear. But it's so much shit in the way because it's like we're making these paths for ourselves for other people to follow after us. So it's almost like the fight and the struggle shit is just like,
it makes space in itself.
If you can't fight, boo boo, it's like you said. Remember when you told me, it's like there are people that need to hear the songs that we have on our hard drives, and it's like we can't get to that spot and expose it and, like, bless people, and, like, people need to be motivated. Yeah. And it's like, if you don't clear that bushing out, you know what I'm saying, so other niggas can step through, it's like you fucking up the ecosystem.
Yeah, straight up, bro. Straight up. Nothing can, like, it's like if you can't, yeah, when you're chasing your dream, you just can't let shit stop you, long story short, because bitches is about to go on a whole tangent. You cannot let shit stop you, bro. Like, if you let the opinions of other people stop you, if you let, like, the misfortune stop you, then were you built for what it is that you want? You know what I mean? Like, that's the question. Because I love you as a songwriter as well, and your voice is like one of those tones that's just like fire as fuck, right?
Thank you, sis.
Bro, you already know. Growing up, like, can you get in the camera? You over here laying down, girl. We not on FaceTime.
I just fell out because all the compliments.
We not on FaceTime. He has to edit this. I want to bring people back to, like, the purity, right? The discovery of music, the discovery of your love and your passion for music. Because we always talking about industry post shit, and it's like, nigga, let's talk about the passion part. Let's talk about the falling in love part. Like, when you were a kid, do you remember the feelings that you took away from music, from your discovery of your passion for music? Like, that's the way I'm putting this question. Like, the easiest way I would answer is that, like, when I used to make music as a child, I would feel free as fuck. Like, do you remember the feelings that you took away from music? And then do you feel like it subconsciously has affected your art today?
Yeah, I think I'm finding ways to tap into that energy with, like, that invincible ass energy. And I feel like I was kind of late to get into music. I really used to be mad when Soul Train and shit would come on and it would interrupt my cartoons. I would really be upset about that. Honest to God, I was, like, late. But when I did get into music, I think it was like Showtime at the Apollo. Steve Harvey was doing the Showtime at the Apollo things, and that was like the thing that I had to watch. You know what I'm saying? And I know Michael Jackson, like you know how Michael Jackson had that little curl thing.
Yeah.
Cause
No.
you know when you need a perm and you still got waves, kind of. So I remember like just wetting my hair and like sliding across the living room with the little curl dangling in front. That was definitely a moment for me.
You was dancing?
Girl, first of all, I thought I wanted to be a choreographer. That's why I be jigging so much.
So tell us about your song that's coming out.
I got a song coming out.
Me and PJ have a song.
Yes, we do.
Tell them about your song that's coming out.
I got a song coming out. It's me getting into my like R&B bag. And I feel like it makes me think of like Total and like touch me, tease me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like, you know how awkward I be with guys. So it's like my, oh, like, what's up with you, baby? Like, feeling like acting like I got game. So that's that.
You do have game.
No, you got
have your
game.
own.
You got all the game, BB. You got all the game.
No, you got game.
Don't let her fool you. Don't let her fool you.
You got game. You got your own little swag going on.
No, you got the swag,
girl. Anyway, but tell the society something like, what are your words of motivation, encouragement, inspiration, like advice? If you could speak to your younger self, like upon entering the game, like what is something that you even just need to hear now? Like,
I have struggled all my life with organization, and it has so far because I have not gotten it together. There are moments where it has come back to bite me in my motherfucking ass, and I feel like the time it's like, even though like just making sure I put shit back and staying organized, but just with anything focused, like working out, losing weight, whatever it is you're trying to do, it's like the extra time you put into being amazing at something. Because honestly, the shit that we're trying to do, we're trying to be amazing at it, so you have to put extra time into it. And so if you don't put that extra time into it, you won't have that extra time to relax in that motherfucking mansion in the motherfucking middle of wherever the fuck you want to be with the fine ass husband and all the good ass kids. That's what I want.
Fine ass husband.
Yeah, and a Grammy. That was first. Grammy, fine ass husband.
Yeah, Grammy is definitely before fine ass husband. PJ, thank you for tuning in with us.
Shout out to Bibi Society. And love y'all.
Peace. Love you. Guys, Jade is an amazing artist, songwriter, has had so much experience in this game, in this industry. We actually were on a tour together as well, right?
Yeah.
Jade was, you tell them.
Well, I met you in Germany when you were opening up for Rihanna, the Anti-Tour, and I've always been such a fan of your writing, man. Like,
I love you.
It's great to connect, like, for real, because back then I was still trying to figure my shit out, so.
Girl, you definitely did figure it out. Like, you beyond figured it out. But yeah, that's where we met, and then we got reconnected through Mike. So shout out Mike, who actually helped us with the whole society session shit. Shout out Mike, you the shit. Jade, you are an independent artist.
AF.
Right?
Yes.
And that, I think, is something that a lot of people want to do, but are very afraid of doing. So I'm curious to know how you came to your decision to be independent.
Okay. I mean, okay, it's a bunch of reasons, honestly. Creative control. Like, I'm very much a person who likes to be in control of my art. And when I made the decision to like really pursue my artistry, like for real, I knew that I wanted to have the space to discover myself without any outside influence. And yeah, like when I first started, I was working with my now husband, Devin Johnson. Shout out to him. Shout out to the homie. And, you know, we had this whole vision, like we wanted to create something, you know, that was organic and that was like genuine to like what we wanted to create. And I remember, you know, now my husband's popping, you know, and now we've proven ourselves. But back then, you know, we had this idea to have our own little production team and create this music. And like, there was a lot of you know, people who are like, why would you want to box yourself in with an unknown producer, you know, work with this person, work with that person. And I've always kind of felt like, you know, Timbaland was Timbaland before we knew who the hell Timbaland was, right? So, you know, I believed in my shit enough to say, okay, let me prove what I can do so that when I go back into these situations, because there were major situations on the table, but early on, you know, when you go into those deals too soon, like they control the narrative. And then I don't even understand, like there's a big misconception, like that if you do a major deal, that somehow it's a guarantee for success. And I've seen so many people, because really think about the people who have cut through and gotten to the point of going through the label system and then maintaining their control at the end. Like it's a process and it doesn't happen for everybody, you know? And so, and then I saw friends of mine who would get into these deals and they would be stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like they would be stuck. They have the machine, but it's not working for them. Or they would be reactive and they were kind of operating like an independent artist anyway, you know, and they didn't own their masters and they didn't have the ability to move how they wanted to move in that kind of limbo. And so for me, like music is not my only goal. And truth be told, like out of all the things that I want to pursue, music is probably the least lucrative, you know, because this industry has changed so much. Like for me, especially because I'm a little older than you, Bibi, but like things, you know, just things change so much. And, you know, I just think it's important for me to just kind of be able to control my own narrative and,
Facts.
and
I feel like, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No. And then just also when I first started out, I was a single mom as well. And so I wanted to be able to set the pace for my choices. And like I said, because I want to do acting and I write comedy and, you know, I have so many things that I want to do. I just didn't want to be boxed in, and I wanted the opportunity to build that leverage so that when I finally, you know, have proven what I can do, I can kind of get the deal that I want.
Facts.
And, you know.
I feel like, to your point where you were saying creative control and how it is important for you to control your narrative as an artist.
Yeah.
There are so many people who like care more about popularity and making good with people who are whatever in higher up positions,
Yeah.
or getting on the charts, or being just having the name of a label. They care more about that than they care about their narrative. And I feel like that seeps through in the fact that you care about your narrative, seeps through in your lyricism and in your music, right? Because the content, like the way you write your music is very, like your lyrics are unconventional and they're very honest. Like it's not some shit like that. It's like, you know, just anyone can, like, you know, it's something you actually have to live through.
I mean, there are people who are in it just for the game of it or just to kind of find success. But like for me, it's really what I love to do. And I've never, like I always say, you know, I'm doing the same exact thing I've been doing since I was a little kid. It's just different levels. And so, you know, I don't even look at, I feel like it's not even fun when I'm trying to create something with the intent to like replicate what's already been done. It's like, you know, living in a town where everybody's making fucking tables. Like, be the dude who makes the chairs. Like,
Yeah.
What's the point of trying to make stuff that people already have? And I think it's kind of a no-brainer. It's easy to just, you know, be myself, and because I love what I do. Like, I do it for myself. And we talked before, and I was telling you, like, I've been journaling since I was a little kid, partially because I have a horrible memory, but also I just like writing stuff down. And that's really how I write, you know, like I was telling you, I still write with, you know, pen and paper, and I write how I journal. And it's like healing, and, you know, and it's not always that deep. Like I love, you know, music of the times. I love all kind of shit. But, you know, for the most part, I write like I journal, and I write for myself.
I feel like I could definitely tell. I could definitely tell that you write like how you journal. Like your music is very conversational, and like I fuck with it. And that's the type of shit I like making too. I definitely agree with you when it comes to like why making shit, like why make shit, like why make a bunch of tables if if everyone in the fucking city is making tables, like we need chairs.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. Like that shit is not even fun. It's like, bro, money and success are very great and awesome, but it's not everything. Like it's like, you know,
Yeah,
it's the byproduct of love. You know what I mean? I guess. I don't know.
I've always felt like fame was an occupational hazard. Like I don't do what I do. Like that's a byproduct. And it's like I'm also competitive, so you want to put yourself in positions to win, but at the end of the day, like, you know, I do it because I love it. I know the same for you. Like it shows through your art as well, like as a writer and an artist. And you know.
Yeah. It's just love shit. You've been on social media for a long time, right?
Yes.
On YouTube as well. Is that where you started? YouTube?
Yeah.
So you've utilized social media to connect with people and to get your art out there.
Yeah.
How has that been for you, and what motivated you, or was it like a natural process doing that? Was it somebody that sat you down and was like, bitch, post YouTube videos, do this and build it up? Like, how did you consistently get into the flow of like utilizing social media to get to your network?
Honestly, I was doing social media like a long ass time ago. Like before, I mean, as far as YouTube is concerned, I didn't like a social media platform. I'm just saying. But yeah, I was on YouTube, and most, if not all, of the opportunities that I was getting came from just stuff that I was randomly putting on YouTube. Like I had done a bunch of covers in my dorm, like this was so long ago, and opportunities just presented themselves, and I saw the power of social media in that moment. And I'm like, okay, it was kind of a big part of the reason why I wanted to go independent, because social media created, you know, a space for us to connect with our people and to like create proof of content, like with the stuff that we want to do, like create a blueprint. So like what Issa Rae did, you know, like with Awkward Black Girl, being able to just make your own shit and then keep doing it and stay consistent and build an organic fan base and like kind of create your own world, right? And I love social media for that. And yeah, it was just kind of a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Yeah, because you're smart. So obviously it was a fucking no-brainer.
I was breastfed.
Last question I have, which kind of goes with the first question I asked you. Comparing the start to how it was to be an independent artist versus now, are there any changes? Like, what's the difference between being independent when you first started and being independent now, emotionally? And, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So at first, it was a lot easier because it was something that was being built from the ground up. So I was able, like, I had the bandwidth to handle it. But over time, as things started to grow, and, you know, it was literally just my husband and I from the beginning. Like, I just got management for the first time outside of us in February. Like, and we started in like 2011 on this journey. So the way it's changed is it got very hard to maintain, and I started to get overwhelmed. And, you know, it almost makes you feel kind of defeated, because as an independent artist, when you're navigating through this shit, like there's so many feelings that you don't realize. And I realized, like, shit, not even realize, but I thought to myself, like, did I make the right choice doing this independent thing? Because, you know, seeing stuff like not being able to get on playlists or not being able to perform at festivals, and like just seeing all the politics of it and feeling like, damn, like this is not easy to do. And like even right now with Corona, you know, like I was getting ready to do an 18-city tour, and this shit had to get canceled. And it's like, I don't have a label advance our budgets, or for them to have invested in the tour to be like, oh, we'll just write it off. Like this was my money. So that's one thing that's, you know, definitely different. And then also when I got to that point of feeling overwhelmed on that independent journey, I realized, okay, it's not being independent or getting a deal. Like it's all about your team. So I finally came to that realization, because I was losing my mind and feeling like I couldn't even create because I felt like I was just in over my head. But I got an assistant, and I got management, and I'm with an agency, and I have a publicist, and things that allow me to now have the time and the headspace to just create and be back to that space that I was when I first started, because now I have extensions of myself in this independent journey. So this was a shift that just happened like the last few months, where I feel like I can breathe again because I have help. Like, being independent does not mean you have to do that shit on your own. And that's something that I just freaking learned because I was losing my shit, dog.
Damn, that's real.
I was losing my mind.
Being independent does not necessarily mean you have to do everything on your own.
Team is so necessary.
And no matter what, team is like, bro, everything. Fucking preach.
Even just having people who say yes, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because we
Your
were talking earlier,
cheerleaders.
like, yes men are the shit. Like, people act like that's a negative thing. I think it's important. Like, my homeboy Young Fire was telling me this, like, everybody needs a yes man because it makes you feel like, yeah, this song is good. They have like a soundboard. Like, that's necessary.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Positivity.
For sure.
Jade.
Baby!
Your music is fire. Guys, go stream her music. She's an independent artist. You've paid your dues time and time again. You are talented. You know, you're very pretty. Sis writes her shit. And man, that's what this shit is about. So go show love to Jade.
Please do. Please stream both albums, All Blue and Stages. Support Black art, support independent art.
Preach.
And I can't wait for us to work. Like, I'm so.
I know.
Man.
It's long overdue, and it's so crazy how the world, the universe works. I miss people, bro. I can't wait to get back in the studio and go in.
And I like I said, I'm definitely going to get out there and start dealing with other people because I've been in a bubble for a really long ass time, and this quarantine showed me how much, like, I need people.
Yeah, we need people, bro. I feel like creativity, especially music, like the essence of it is collaboration, right? When you think about, like, it's a way of communicating. Like, that's the essence of it. When you see a band playing, it's a guitarist and a drummer and a bassist, and everyone's playing with each other and they're communicating with each other, and then they're expressing themselves, and I just feel like it's about movement, momentum, exchanging ideas. And sometimes, because I definitely relate, like, sometimes when we're too caught in our own heads and in our own ideas and in our own perspectives, it stops the movement. Like, it doesn't mean that you can't move at all. Like, you can go, but you can only go so far before you start to go in a circle and go in a circle. And then
you're like on autopilot.
Yeah. So we need people. We need people, guys. We need to connect. So I appreciate you for coming on this platform to talk to me about your art.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Bibi
Girl,
Winfrey, with your bomb ass questions, girl.
Bibi Winfrey. Oh God. Oh my God. Jade, you're the shit.
You the shit, dog.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Sorry.
Hey.
That is the second time today Alessia has caught me like singing and shit before my FaceTime. Does anyone do that? Do you do that? Like, do you like make faces at the camera before you go live, or is that just?
No, I do that too. Yeah, before I FaceTime, yeah, I do that all the time. They always answer at the worst time, the wrong time.
And he was like,
You look cute. You're always cute.
You look cute. Alessia,
I changed my shirt for you.
Huh?
I changed my shirt for you, and I put my hair down for this occasion. But yeah, we're label mates.
You remember when we first met? The first time we met?
I think so. Was it at the Def Jam, like that Def Jam showcase?
Are you ready? I don't know if you're gonna remember this. When we first met, we met at the Barclays Center in New York.
Oh, was it for the title thing?
Title thing.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the first time. Huh?
That was 2015, right?
Yeah, that was 2015. And that's when we first met. And I was like, I love her. But I was too shy to tell you how much I loved you at the time.
Why?
In my room. I don't know, because I'm shy too, bro. People don't know that about me. Like, I'm very shy.
Wow, you don't seem shy. I get so shy. I'm like so intimidated by everybody. I get so scared. But you don't look shy.
No, I be shy. I'm a Cancer, like you. We're Cancer gang. Alessia.
Yes.
You have one of those voices that is so diverse. And I love people that can make any song their own. And I feel like I saw you on YouTube and you were doing like, it was like a funny video of like you doing like hella impersonations.
Oh my God, yeah.
But people don't realize like that shit requires skill. Like that means that you are a skilled singer if you are able to do those kinds of like impersonations, because everybody has different breath patterns. Everybody has different like what's the word, like tones that they reach in their voice. So to be able to impersonate people well is very like telling on your skill for singing, like, and your hours, the 10,000 hours, right?
Thank you. Well, thank you for saying that. I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, like, it just comes from like, I'm like such a like music fan first. I love just like the idea of like learning how people do what they do, because I'm just obsessed with like tone. And so it's always just been like one of my favorite things to like just really listen hard like on how somebody sings and like try to do it, you know, because like you said, I feel like it does make you better when you can learn the different techniques. It's like, okay, so that's how you make your voice sound like this, and that's how you do this, and this is how they pronounce this word. I'm just like such a like, I don't know.
Musician.
Yeah, like, or like just music geek. Like I love learning that stuff. Like I don't know if I'm good at it, I just enjoy it. I think it's so fun.
No, you are though. And the thing is that I love too is like I'm the same way. I feel like there are not a lot of people who are musical and in mainstream. There are a lot of people who are, but there's also not a lot of people who are. Okay, let me put it that way. Yeah. So I really fuck with the fact that you are musical.
Thank
but
you.
I wanted to know if your love for singing came first and writing was a byproduct of that, or if your love for writing came first and singing was a byproduct of that.
Good question. Well, for me, I think music, like singing, came first for me. But I always felt like when I was a kid, like I just grew up like assuming that everybody wrote their own songs. Like I just thought that like whoever sings a song wrote it. So it was always like my dream to learn how to be a good songwriter too. I just didn't know where to start. So for me, like singing came first, and then I think I got a guitar, like my first guitar when I was like 10, and then didn't start playing it till a few years later. And then once I learned like 3 chords, and I was like, okay, let me try to learn how to write. Like I wasn't like writing songs super young. Like I started about like 12, 13 to like really, you know, write, take it seriously.
Right. I feel that, bro. I played the same power chords. Actually, let me not even fucking lie. I still play the same fucking power chords I learned when I was 14.
Yeah, but you don't need, the truth is like simplicity. You don't need all that crazy shit. You just like, as long as you know like your, you know, the ones that you feel comfortable with. Like I use the same stuff too. I have like my favorite chords that I use, and I feel like it doesn't matter.
No, you could write a million songs to the same chords.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people do. Like pop music is like essentially like, maybe not so much anymore, but there was a period of time where it was like the same 4 chords. Like, you know, you have like D, G, E minor, like those typical chords. I mean, now it's different. Now like genres sort of spread out. It's not so much the same anymore. But.
Yeah. 2 questions, and they're kind of associated with each other, but I want to know what you're out here chasing your dreams, right? And we're in the industry, and we started young as fuck in this chasing our dreams journey. And you know, there's a lot of people who want to develop the courage to do so and to walk in their dreams. So I have 2 questions. One of them is, what is the most difficult part of being a girl chasing her dream?
Well, I think there are, I mean, a lot of difficult parts about being a girl, especially a young girl. I think one of the difficulties I've had is asserting myself when it came to like my work and what I do, and like every aspect. Like I've gotten so much like shit about like the way that I look all the time, the way that I dress, the way I choose to present myself. And so like having to sit in a room with a bunch of people that are very intimidating, or like not even sit in a room, I mean even just online, like having to do that and assert yourself and show people that you know what you're talking about and that you know yourself more than anybody else does. It's challenging because then people like will always, you know, like call you names or call you a diva or call you, you know, it's like it's so hard to like be a boss without having that negative connotation when you're a woman, and that's just the way it is. Like, it's the truth. It's not always that way, but like for me, I've just always had a hard time like saying no and not sounding mean, or feeling like I was sounding mean if I said no, this is how I want to do things. So I find like we all kind of share that as young women, just like asserting ourselves and having to like be ourselves in spite of all of the nonsense, you know, in the way that we look, in the ways that we sing. It's like so much comparison, and you kind of always have to, I think, as a woman, like feel like you got to be extraordinary in order to be heard. Like, men don't really need to do that. They're, like, it's like we just always have to like set this bar as women. Like, we have to be extraordinary if we want to be heard. And it's like, why? Like, I just don't see that a lot with men. So that's always so hard, like for me, or what I've found. If that makes any sense. I don't know if
it definitely makes sense, sis. And I think a lot of people can relate to you. So we always talk about the struggle, and I told the people that we were talking about the struggle, so that was a little bit of the struggle. I'm curious to know what the most liberating part for you is of being a girl chasing her dream.
Sweet. That's so good. I'm so glad you're asking that. You were saying earlier, like, we always talk about the struggle, but at the end of the day, like, we're living our dream, and that's like such a
blessing,
beautiful thing. It really is a blessing. It's like, you know, I that's never lost on me any time. But I think the most liberating thing is like, with all that stuff I just said, like doing it anyway in spite of that. You know, I think once you overcome that, and once you like do what you knew in your heart that you could do in spite of like all the, you know, opinions and all of that, it's a really, really beautiful feeling to like make it out on the other side and be like, oh, I knew I was right, or like I knew I could do it. Because there's so much doubt that comes with being not only a woman but like a songwriter and putting your heart out into something. It's a very vulnerable and sensitive thing, and it's so easy for me to like shut off and be like if there's one like negative comment, I'm always gonna be like, oh, I just doubt myself so much.
I know, I relate.
I suck. I'm always like, that's it, I suck, I'm quitting, it means that I'm terrible. And so like, you know, just like seeing something turn out the way that you hope it would, in spite of all of that other stuff, is like, it's really good, just like making it out.
Sis, I relate. And I'm going to mention a story that now that you just said that just sparked up in my head when you said that. And because I feel like it would be inspiring. I remember growing up, for me, I was a little bit rebellious. I was a little bit rebellious in my teenage years and shit. And I remember I had a lot of people around me telling me like, oh, you know, you can't make your dreams come true. I had a hard time in high school. I didn't really show up, all this drama, whatever. Then finally, once I graduated and I decided that I wanted to move to LA, I had everyone hit me up trying to convince me, don't move to LA, don't move to LA. Like, you're going to F it up. Like, don't do it. Like, go to college, go to community college, do this, do that. And by the way, this is not me telling y'all not to go to college, so don't even try to blame me for this shit.
I know, I didn't either.
Yeah. No one here said don't go to college.
Yeah,
like, go to school.
Don't. Exactly.
No, I'm telling you my story, and she has nothing to do with my story. But my story is that once I was on the plane, once I got on that plane, and I was 19 or whatever, I got on the plane, I fell asleep and I woke up. Like an hour into LA, like we had almost hit LA. And I opened up the window and I looked out the window, and it's the first time, because I wasn't really on the West Coast like that. I'd never really been on the West Coast like that. I saw all this sand, like desert, right? And I looked out the window and I was like, I really just did this shit. And when I was in LAX, whatever, got my bags and shit, I was like, fuck, man, this feels good. Like, it feels good. Like, all that turmoil, all that shit of people telling me you can't do it, you're not gonna, like, when you actually move, what I'm saying is, when you move, listening to your intuition, listening to the answer that is right for you, that you feel like is right for you, and you stand firm in that, and you assert yourself, right? And you're like, nah, actually, I'm gonna do this because this feels right to me.
Yeah.
And before that, you have all these like emotional conflicting feelings and all this fear and all this stuff. But once you make that decision and it's done, and the decision is made, you like, wait, I can actually do whatever the fuck I want.
I know. It is. It's such a liberating feeling. It's just so, because it's up to you. Like, I mean, of course it takes, it takes a village or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, it's up to you who you are and who you want to be. We always like say it's not or think it's not, but at the end of the day, it really, really is. And it's so nice when you're not wrong about it, because you could doubt yourself so many times. And I've had that. Like, I've had that experience too. Like, I grew up in a very traditional Italian family who like knows nothing about the industry. Like, they don't know about this whole thing. And so it was a lot of like, go be a doctor. What are you doing? Like, you're never gonna make this. Like, it's 1 in a million. And when it happens, it's just a really, really nice feeling. And I think it's so great. And I had that same experience about going to LA too, because I had never been on the West Coast. I'd barely like been outside of Canada and like Italy. So like seeing that sand too. And I remember like I put my feet in the water once I got there. I went to like Venice Beach. It was such a beautiful feeling. It's like I'm here right now, So we got to talk about those moments more, because while it is a struggle, like those moments make all of that, like the struggle, like worth living.
Yeah, it's life. It means it's like that's why I'm here. I'm doing what I love. That is why I'm here. Like, when you have experienced those moments, like even the struggle that happens before, yeah, that's great struggle that comes with moving in passion, that comes with doing what you love, bro. Yeah. There is great struggle that comes with it, because your heart's in it. And when your heart is in your hands like that, you're very vulnerable. And the L's you take hit you in a personal way. They don't just hit you in a way where it's like, oh, my paycheck, fuck, that just cut into my paycheck. No, it's a different way that it hits you. But when the times that it works out, yes, the times that it works out, and the times where you move in your intuition and you're happy with your decision and you're excited about life, that's what makes living even fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's the reason why we're alive, right? We have to live with purpose. Like, so yeah. So true. On that note, leave your past. I was gonna say, leave your past you with words of advice. What are your inspirational words of whatever to somebody right now that maybe is doubting themselves?
I would say nobody knows you like you, and you have to trust your gut. And sometimes, the doubts of other people are going to make you think that your gut is saying something else, when in reality it's not. It's just clouding what's really in there. And I've had that, because I've had people tell me I should be in a band, that I'm not a solo artist. I've had executives like walk out on my meetings and I was singing to them and made me cry leaving their office. I've had so much of that. I've had so many no's, and I'm here, and like, because I trusted myself. So that's the biggest thing I would say, is trust your gut and don't let anything cloud that, because that's where the realness is.
Facts, sis. You're a real one. Thank you for doing this.
So are you. I love you. I love you so much.
I love you. I'm going to FaceTime you after this.
Yes, please. Thank you for having me.
Bye, babe.
Bye.